How is everyone doing? Well, I know some of you were bullish, hoping a rally would come. But I did explain that because of the correlation that we have between the NASDAQ and Bitcoin, the death cross that we're seeing right here, which is funny. I mean, they're just touching right now, but the projections are that come Monday, it'll be like the X will be here and we'll be already over here because the NASDAQ only trades Monday through Friday. So it's very likely that when we start Monday on the 23rd, this thing will already be like in cross mode. So, long story short, we kind of saw this coming. If you follow my work and you knew the same that I've said, don't get emotional, just remain calm, follow the charts, do your best to ignore a lot of the YouTubers that are pumping simply because I suspect that a lot of these YouTubers they buy their positions in the crypto first, and then when they announce it, you guys are making purchases, but the YouTubers might be selling the rip. So this market seems to have turned into, instead of buying the dip market, um, I've heard it from other professionals, actual professional traders, not YouTubers, but professional traders say that this is now a market of sell the rip. So basically, any rally you get, you just flat out sell your position so that you don't go deeper underwater. So today we're only going to cover the first system that I use, and that's simply because there is a lot that I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna jump around within this system a lot. The other systems I don't need to cover them. I think everybody has seen them in the other videos, but in this one, let's start off with just the Bitcoin chart because I want to put reference as to where we are, where we're going, and what's the idea behind this. So let's do a little bit of review for all the new people. Orange line at the top, top Fibonacci. This is mathematically per se the maximum price you can get at Bitcoin right now if it were to rally using the 2-day chart. We're looking at 70,000. If we go into the 1-day chart, which is where a lot of traders hang out, that one is lower at 68. Midpoint Fibonacci is at, I think right there, 43,000. So below 43,000, you're in bear territory. So right now we're in a bear market for the cryptos, basically. The absolute bottom Fibonacci, whereas like Bitcoin can't really go lower on the daily, is 18,000 and change. So I'll say 18,300, whatever. So next lines I want to cover is the cycles. Notice, let me see if I can do this. We go from the top, we go into the bottom, which is a trough. We rally, we go into the bottom, and notice you don't need to fall in the exact bottom. There's a range. Every single cycle has like a 25% range that this is the range. So we got there, got here, we rally, we got here, we rally, we got here, very close to the center. We rally, but it failed. And so the rally basically failed. But when you see this little top right here, that's because the top cycle is trying to pull it out. So it doesn't go into this. Now you rally into this cycle, but then all one, two, three, four cycles are trying to pull it down. And again, the range that I've set, that's why I put the two yellow markers between April 1st and May 25th is when you should expect an extreme danger. However, I'm beginning to see signs that I might need to move this further out into probably sometime in June, around June 10th, maybe. And I'll explain that in a bit. But this is why I put my rectangles underneath. Basically, if we close out the month of May inside of the yellow, inside of the yellow rectangle, there is a good chance that we can get to new all-time highs, meaning we could reach what is it, 68 or higher. Um, if we fall into the green, we probably will not. The odds are now cut in half, 50% chance that we might rally all the way to 68. So we may rally somewhere closer to 51 or 52 and then collapse again. If we fall into the third rectangle, I've said it before, forget it. This is a destructive bear market. And at that point, the cycles will not be bullish again until we get to February 2023, or actually, I'm sorry, roughly 2025 is what I had in my chart. So this here right here is June 2023. So I would not expect, if we fall into this red one, it's extreme, and we may not be able to rally until sometime, maybe, probably from February 23rd on, or the next extreme low point, which the system doesn't even project it. But anyways, that said, let's see what we have on the charts. So right now, on my last video, I was explaining that we use the good old reliable to pinpoint tops and bottoms, even though a lot of people say don't do that. I genuinely try. So right now, what do we have? If I were to go to the 3-day chart, which is what I covered yesterday as well, again, we have no signal to buy in any way, shape, or form. Everything is still under the previous sell signal, which was, if you notice, you see there's a sell signal and a bearish engulfing. Then you have two triangles, the yellow and the blue, pointing down. And then you have something that I forgot to cover, but I should cover right now. We have the sell signal, the bearish engulfing, then the two triangles, double whammy, quadruple whammy. We have right here, I'm going to turn off all the drawings. Right here. This, some people call it a shooting star. The majority of people that I've come across call it a gravestone doji. And a gravestone doji just has the price plummet but like in an accelerated fashion almost. Notice that earlier today on my Twitter account, I did post we were getting like 28,700 something. So this was, I mean, this candle was very eerily similar to this. But this candle doesn't finish until 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. So for those of you using TradingView, I would encourage you to turn on the countdown timer. You go here and just count down to bar close. By that, then you can track on the 3-day when this closes tomorrow. And if this closes closer to 28.8, or basically if it looks like this, consider this a gravestone doji, which means it'll plummet further. And right here, from this point to this point, it crashed by, let's say, round off 30% in 9 days. So if we were to do that, let's say from right here, that puts us at May, so the end of the month. So if this closes out tomorrow as a gravestone doji, excuse me, I'd say tomorrow would be a day that you don't want to miss on how this closes. But if it does, for some weird reason, close out as a gravestone doji, I'm using this as a previous example. This dropped by 30%. This might drop another 30%, and it would put us closer to the $20,000 mark. I'm just putting it out there. It's difficult for me to see that happening, but then again, I wasn't expecting to see that gravestone doji today. So all the indicators are saying that's not likely to happen, but you never know. Right now, it's just something to keep an eye out. If I go to the 1-day, look at the 1-day chart. It's basically saying this is going to drop some more because this is low bottom, but this one is topping. This one wants to move up. This one is angled down. This one is midway up. So on the daily, none of the indicators are useful. They're all over the place. Like, they're not really useful in telling me which way to go. So for this, I go bigger time frames, and this is more useful. They're more low, 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 possibly, but low. So this would signal we may try and rally, but look, using the pivot point, we have to break above 31,000. Okay, so even if this rallies, this pivot point right here remains like, look, it can't get above, it can't get above, it can't get above, it can't get above, it can't. Like 31,000 is extreme resistance right now. And the longer it takes Bitcoin to try and break, people will lose faith that we will ever be able to. And that's when you'll see I don't want to use the word capitulation, but you'll see people just dump their positions because they're like, well, fuck this. We can't even get above 31,000. I can't afford to take any more losses. So some people might just jet and just take off and sell whatever else they have left. Okay, but for us, we all know, if you follow my work, we know that we wait patiently for the good old reliable to tell us when to get in and when to get out. And I've said it before, and I'll do it really quick, just these last two positions right here. On, let me zoom in on this one. On, what is this? July 18, that marked the bottom, but so did our MACD on the right side, good old reliable. Then it marked the top at November 15th, right here. And so when we zoom in really close, we can see this little line right here where they crossed again on April 16, right here, right above the 200. This signal we were going to go down hard, and lo and behold, we have. But again, all my other indicators were already saying, brace yourself. You're going to go through a lot of pain. And now we have a death cross here. This is the reason why probably we haven't seen any signals here. But still, the fact that we don't have anything, remember, tomorrow, it's hard for me to see this go one, two, three, four, like on a fifth candle without any sort of sign of buy or double down on your short position. It's weird because look, besides the bearish engulfing here, it's in one, two, three, four, five candles down. And I think there's a lesson out there. I forget if this is true or not. I don't know the accuracy, but I think they say that 9 moves in the same direction are followed by opposite moves. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So somewhere right here on May 28, we may see a rally. But even then, I'm not optimistic. Unless if the good old reliable begins to get like a V, like it V's, but it doesn't cross, but it gets a V. If we see a V tomorrow, let's say today it closed and we got a new candle and this MACD didn't cross up but it started a V, that V is a signal that you should start cost averaging into your positions because it might cross up and we might see a significant rally. But until this crosses, I remain in all my positions. But still, again, on the 3 day, there's no signal. So I'm expecting a signal to be triggered tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm waiting to see what's going to be signaled here. Odds are in favor it might be a buy, but again, I follow the charts and I follow the MACD and all my other indicators. Okay, so okay, so really quick, the big picture because I know a lot of people don't do big picture analysis. So I'm going to go into the 1 day. Right here like this. That looks terrible. Let me jump into the week so I can just see without a lot of stuff. Okay. So on the weekly chart, the cycles all realign correctly and everything, and I can now show what I wanted to show. Remember, top Fibonacci, middle Fibonacci, the bottom Fibonacci, don't even look at it. I'm not expecting us to go, but the bottom Fibonacci is based on the weekly. So here, I'm just going to take this, put it right there. This puts us at, look, the 6th of June, but it's on a week. So the week starts on June 6th. It might push us all the way to June 10, 11, or 12 that this collapse will end. So I'm just putting it out there right now. It seems very likely we might complete this poll, and just keep that in the back of your head. If we don't begin to rally the first week of what is it, June, then assume that this pull will play out and we will either land at 22,000, which is where I see a lot of people talking, and that's what they're basing their number on. They're using the weekly chart and the 200-day moving average, which is at 22. But this pull would signal that you might fall into the Fibonacci midpoint, which is 16. And then from there, we can bounce. But if we touch the Fibonacci, just like I've said before, when you breach Fibonacci, the reversal happens, but violently. We might see this if it touches 16,000. The reversal might be abrupt, sudden, and extremely fast. But the MACD will hit. It will tell us and prep us at least 2 days before. So we will have time, just like a 2 day window, to get into position across all of the coins that we love and that whatever you want to buy. So you got to be ready for this. And I've said it before, I'm not buying anything or doing anything except holding on to my short position, because on the 3 day, I don't have a signal. So I'm going to go into the short position, and I'm going to explain something real quick. Again, my cycles here are configured correctly. They show everything as it's supposed to be. There is something I want to show everybody that I think, where is it? Let me go into the 1 day. Yeah, so on the 1 day, no, I already plotted this out because I don't want to run out of time today. So the blue line is the 50-day, the red line is the 200. When they cross blue above the red, that's a golden cross. I already have it marked that on May 27th, this coin is going to rally. This signals that when this rallies up, Bitcoin does the exact opposite. So you see on May 25th, I have this as a potential signal, like something big should happen from this point. Well, using the coin that goes against it, May 27th, we might see we should, according to this, the trajectory, we should see a golden cross, and so this coin will rally. Now, there's something else I saw in the charts. I'm going to chart it really quick, but again, if it rallies according to this, the window that I have for a top on this coin but a bottom on Bitcoin is you see this range between May 27th all the way to June 14th. So I would say June 14th, we might begin an actual rally in Bitcoin, and this coin will begin its collapse. Okay. So again, be ready. I'm just using the charts here to guide. So let's go to the 12-hour because I want to show everybody what I saw already. See, it's top right there. And then here. And then here. Okay. Using the other flag that I've shown you guys, this flag, I mean, I'm not, if I'm to assume that on the daily, right? If on the daily we get the golden cross, I'm just going to move that stupid pole in here. Notice what happens. I somehow reach the top Fibonacci line of $2.47. So there's a very high likelihood that this flag on the coin that goes against Bitcoin will play out, which means this pain that we've seen in Bitcoin isn't over, people. This here is already signaling that at the end of the month, we're going to rally. We have a long triggered and the trend line has gone green, meaning this coin is in an upward trajectory. Another thing I want to tell everybody really quick, in the typical stock market, there's an old adage that says sell in May and go away, because typically the months following May are typically very brutal, turbulent. And if we are entering a bear market, they're going to get even worse. So, because of this flag that is forming now on the inverse coin, the short coin, I do expect Bitcoin to hit 20,000. But you saw my flagpole; it actually can go all the way down to 18,000 on the daily, but on the 3 day, I mean, this shit can go even lower, but I'm not at that pessimistic. I'll say that I think 20,000 should be your entry point regardless. Or I mean, if it goes lower, I'll obviously I'll be charting it. I'm out of time, people. I wish I could talk more, but I'm not gonna push it. Good luck.